Hello, everyone. It's finally time. Here we are. I'm Diane Mikowski, also known as the massage mentor in some circles. I'm here with Sue Wood. Just a little overview of what's going to happen today and with some of the interviews. How I like to do it, and we've discussed it, is we'll keep it short. We're going to just do short little blurbs with short little questions. I'm going to put up an agenda so you can refer back. So we're going to talk today about the 5 elements. And like I said, we're going to keep it brief. We're going to open a doorway for you to explore, if you choose to, more about the elements. The reason that I have chosen Sue Wood first is I met Sue Wood probably about 20 years ago.
Just about, yeah.
Just about 20 years ago. And I actually attended her shiatsu school. And to me, she's just the element whiz.
Oh, thank you.
She's the lady who knows the elements.
By now.
Hopefully by now.
But always open to learn.
So one of the reasons that I have always enjoyed learning about 5 elements is because they were discovered by experience. I found that a lot of my body work, some of the things that I feel really confident at and good at doing are things that I learned by experience. And here's an entire modality and what would you say? How would you? An entire
theory,
an entire lifestyle based on experience, based on nature. So let's just start.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
When were the 5 elements discovered, created?
They came into not so much being. They weren't discovered. Well, they were discovered. They came into being. They were first written down in the 4th to the 2nd century BC in the Neijing, which is the Yellow Emperor's Book of Chinese Medicine. And the 5 elements, along with yin and yang theory, are the central concepts of traditional Chinese medicine. And we call them elements, but they're actually phases because they represent the seasons and nature around.
And for me, again, that's one of the things that I love about it, is that it's one of the older modalities. It's the basis of so much that we learn now, and we don't talk about it that much, I feel like, anymore. So, so what are the 5 elements? The
5 elements are wood, fire, earth, metal, and water.
And if this, the 5 elements work goes along with shiatsu, correct?
Yes.
So if in the beginning of a session, a little bit different than in the beginning of a massage session.
Yes.
You sit with the client and you do what?
Well, we do an intake that is in some respects similar to a massage intake. But then we ask people questions like maybe what's their favorite color or their least favorite color, their favorite time of year, because the elements do relate to the seasons. And then we use color, sound, odor, and emotion to assess the energetic condition of the person's health, because the whole other basis of 5 elements is living in harmony with the world around you.
Can you get into that more? Because that's one of the things I really like. Because I love, we were talking earlier about how I love comparing different things in life to the microcosm and the world, the macrocosm. So could you touch base on that a little bit?
Sure. So you've got the ancient Chinese, which were basically an agrarian culture. And they're sitting around trying to figure things out. And they're looking at what's going on in the universe around them. How do the seasons change? How does the weather change? How does the type of food they eat as these seasons change? And then they realize that their bodies are microcosms or reflections of the universe around them. And that when they ate seasonal foods and they went to bed earlier when it got dark earlier, that they were in better health, because then their bodies were attuned with nature around them. And it makes so much sense.
That's why I love it.
Yeah, so, exactly.
All right, cool. So I'm going to skip around a little bit. Okay, so if someone, let's say, has a deficiency or an excess of the element wood, how might that show up?
How might it manifest itself in your body? Well, let's see. So wood, let me just get to my cheat sheet here, could manifest itself as sciatic pain or an earache or toothache, or a migraine, or it could be self-induced like a hangover.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a point on your foot or on both your feet that really good for hangovers and migraines, depending on what causes, but it's good for both.
Okay. So the wood element would show some of those. You might then work on what meridians would you work
You would work on gallbladder and liver meridians because the elements all have meridians or pathways of chi energy that relate to them.
Yes. Just we're keeping it brief. Just keep in mind we're keeping it brief. Okay, so what if someone had an excess of fire
And
or deficiency?
an excess or deficiency of fire could manifest as chest pain. It could manifest as inflammation, specifically, well, not specifically, but usually in the elbow or the wrist, because where the heart meridian is closer to the surface is in the upper body on the arms. And it could also manifest as anxiety or nausea.
So and to me that makes sense because inflamed areas tend to be red.
Yeah.
When I feel anxious, I kind of feel like I'm on fire.
Yeah.
So again, like that's one of the things that I love about this stuff is that it kind of coexists with what's happening in life.
I feel nauseous when I'm anxious, so double duty point. Yeah.
Yes. So what about if someone has an excess or deficiency in the element water?
Water would be back pain. It could be lethargy or a decrease in energy, and sometimes an excess of energy. But in Western civilization, I don't think there's any of us that have any excessive energy to spare. So, not usually.
No. And let's jump into the meridians with those. What two meridians would you want to work with on the
bladder and kidney? And bladder meridian with back pain makes so much sense because it goes down either side of the spine, the majority of the meridian.
Nice. So let's go to the element earth.
Earth would be shoulder tension and could be menstrual.
No, what I think of right away?
What?
It's carrying the weight of the world.
Exactly.
Yes.
Language, which is another ball
Oh,
game.
okay, right.
But yes, absolutely. So shoulder tension, menstrual cramps, stomach aches,
Earthy
things.
things.
Also, if you wanted to get into something that's a little more psychological, that, you know, how sometimes you just keep playing something over in your head because you forget you're supposed to live in the moment and you're still playing that stupid thing you said over and over again. That's an earth thing.
Interesting. So let's go to the very last one, which is metal.
Okay, metal would be asthma or any type of breathing problems. And again, it could be toothache.
Toothache.
Yeah.
So one of the other things that we talked about, just briefly going over, is just how the elements kind of keep each other in sync. And we have the controlling cycle, and then we have the creation cycle. So, like I said, this is all very brief. We're not getting into any great detail on the elements, but like I said, one of the things for me that I love about this stuff and kind of how I built my practice and I started my practice and became so fascinated by the human body and doing body work is because of all the things that I learned through emotions and feeling, all the things that I learned when I was outside and coexisting with nature, all the things that I learned from people. So to me, body work has always been like a very intense, powerful thing in my life. And I love when it's shown to us or we learn about it through experience. And there's, to me, this whole realm of thought where they're, relating the earth, the wood, fire, water, all these elements, and then comparing them to us. It just makes complete and total sense and gets me super duper fired up.
I know. And remember, too, that in Chinese medicine, you're not only working on the physical, but body, mind, and spirit. So sometimes the things, and I didn't even go into them when we talked about the meridians because it gets so complicated and so diverse. But it's exciting because sometimes you're working on somebody who says they're constipated and what they really need to do is let go of something emotionally.
Right.
And sometimes, if you're really lucky, both happen.
Right. And they're the kind of
Yeah.
things, like I said, that sometimes I just haven't been hearing enough of. That to me are so important. Like you said, how many clients do we have? I don't mean to go here right away, or first time talking and talking about constipation, but how many people do we have that we work with that, especially women, suffer from constipation and really do have a hard time letting go and all that stuff. So it's really neat, not to mention diet and all those other things.
Yes.
We want to stay focused on the elements. And like I said, the reason that Sue is here and we're starting here is because it's just such a good base.
It
I
is.
think.
I think so.
So the elements too take care of themselves. So the earth, it seems that as far as I've noticed, the sun has risen and the sun has set
Yes.
every day of my life.
Mine too.
How about that?
Yeah. Amazing.
It's
Isn't
amazing. And it seems that we have air,
it? Mm-hmm.
and it seems that we have water. It seems that we have
Yes.
wood. It seems that the earth is rather self-sufficient.
Yeah. We just
right?
don't have spring and autumn in
I mean,
Pennsylvania.
really, not as much anymore.
Yeah.
So it seems that all these elements
Mhm.
out there are in like this rhythm
Yeah.
and this cycle where they're controlled, where one doesn't overpower the
Mhm.
other, and if it does, the other elements get together to calm it down.
Right.
Which again, too, I think is something that kind of happens in the body.
It does.
So if you have too much heat, you'll want to do things that cool you.
Slow you down.
Right. So in the cycle for the elements, the controlling cycle of the elements.
Okay. So
I love how I remember the first time I heard this, and it just all made sense. How the wood and the fire and the water and the earth, how it all works together in a perfect circle.
yeah. Otherwise, it would be a big, muddy, dirty wall.
Yeah.
But the controlling cycle, which is sometimes referred to as the co-cycle, is used when there is excessive energy in the meridians of a particular element. So wood controls the earth because the roots of trees and plants are what keep the soil from eroding, right?
Mhm.
And water puts out fire, right? Fire melts metal. Metal cuts wood, and wood who does what? Controls the earth.
Controls the earth. Yeah, the roots.
Water controls fire.
controls fire.
That's what I missed.
It's all right.
It's okay.
It's all right.
But so everything works in a specific way. And when you look at what goes on in the world, in nature, that's how it works. What if there wasn't a factory where you were?
So then the controlling cycle, what about the creation cycle?
The creation cycle, or the Sheng cycle, is used to treat deficient qi. So wood feeds fire. Fire feeds earth by creating ash, which I still don't exactly understand, but I'm going to take their word for it because they're thousands of years older than I am. And earth feeds metal. Metal feeds the water by putting minerals and things in it. And then water feeds wood.
So there again, like I said, I just think it's super duper cool how everything kind of works together.
Yeah.
Right? And it's all laid out on this
Yeah.
big, huge, beautiful planet that we live on.
Exactly.
And, you know, it's funny because some people have said to me, Diane, it's no longer the age of kumbaya. Well, it is still the age of we live on a planet called Earth, and, you know, we need it to exist and, you know, stuff like that. So all the, again, the elements, the wood, the fire, the water, the earth, the metal, all working together
Yeah.
to keep the planet spinning.
Mhm.
And then they took it and they looked at us as the microcosm of all those things.
Little mini universes,
Little
which
mini
is what we
universe.
are.
So the 5 elements are basically those keys, and then attached with the 5 elements, you have the meridians.
The meridians, which run through the body with the chi energy.
And when you have things in excess or deficiency, you can work on the meridians,
Mhm.
and you can try to work with the different elements to restore balance inside
Yeah.
the body, like
Yeah,
you would
exactly.
on the earth.
And also, you know, look at when you're eating. It's simple. I mean, when you think about it, it's so simple. Sometimes you must think, I think to myself, am I really that dumb? Because you can eat with the seasons. And just think about winter. Like, my friends always joke around Thanksgiving. They say, well, we'll see you around Easter. Because I don't like to go out in the wintertime. I hibernate. And the ancient Chinese, well, they didn't hibernate like bears in caves. Maybe they did. I don't know. It wasn't there. But they did use that winter time to kind of stay indoors. They couldn't do anything really out in the fields. And to plan, like, that didn't grow too well over there last year on the north side. So they used winter to decide where to move that crop to so it was more productive. It was a time of planning and looking inward.
So we were basically, living with the earth instead of on it.
Exactly.
Going to the cycles of the earth.
That's a great way to put it.
Going
Yes.
going with the cycles of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the things too that I think is awesome about doing body work, because you have your hands on so many different people, and it pushed me to learn how to use my body. And then by needing to learn how to use my body, I needed to learn how to fuel my body. And by learning how to fuel my body, I was forced to learn how to eat better.
Yeah.
And by learning how to eat better, then I had to admit that I was on planet Earth and that I was coexisting with other people. And then when I started going to grocery stores and looking for what I needed, I had to realize that there was other people on the Earth too, kind of doing the same thing.
Hunting and gathering.
Hunting, that's how we hunt and gather now.
Yeah.
It's like walking through Whole Foods, grabbing our organic foods, I hope. But for me, it's, like I said, learning how to use my body taught me that I need to fuel my body. And like you were saying too, it's like little things that people might not think of is the reason that lettuce looks kind of not as delicious in Pennsylvania in the wintertime is because it's too cold for lettuce.
Right.
Your little body, my body doesn't want cold foods.
And that's why we have pink tomatoes in
Pink
the wintertime
tomatoes.
in this
Pink tomatoes.
area.
I don't really like pink tomatoes.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan.
Pink tomatoes.
So I don't eat
like
eat
them
tomatoes in the winter.
I like them red.
Yeah,
Red
I don't eat them.
tomatoes.
I don't eat fresh ones in the winter anyway.
So we have some comments too.
Okay.
I'm glad everybody's enjoying. What else do you have on the 5 elements? I think if we're keeping it short,
We're going to
like
keep it short. Let's leave
keep it
some
short.
of the mystery.
Let's
there.
leave some of the mystery. So Sue Wood will actually be in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area doing a workshop with my team at Freedom Massage on the 5 elements. You're all welcome.
We're here.
Come out and check us out. I also want to give you guys little glimpses of what's to come. Do you know this book? Well, we got a visitor from the gentleman that wrote this book in an interview coming up here in the next few weeks, we hope. We also have Master Ohashi coming to town. He's going to talk with me a little bit. So we're just getting warmed up.
Yeah.
And Sue Wood is going to be back too. I think we were talking about yin and yang.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're not going to just talk about one area or one thing. This is an all-inclusive. Also, you saw on the page that I want to interview you. I want to hang out. Sue's local. I've known her forever, so we're sitting in the same room. But I can interview all of you. Anyone on the page that wants to be interviewed.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's a great
just
idea.
about anyone, because I think we all have something to offer the massage community. It's not a hierarchy.
Nope.
It's not a it's not
a competition.
It's we know. So I'm excited to meet all of you. So don't be shy. Feel free to email the massage mentors at gmail.com. I'd love to have you on. I can tell you that there's a few people I'm looking forward to talking to. David Golding, if you're watching. I'm looking forward to talking to Allison Sagewind. She wants to do some interviewing with us. So I'm telling you, it's going to be great. And I also wanted to give a special shout out to Tracy from New Jersey. Tracy from New Jersey, you are asking great questions. And I also want to say thank you to everybody on the site, because you're keeping it cool. Like I haven't really seen too many people, kind of not being friendly and nice and all that on the site. So I want to say I'm really thankful for that, because like I said, we're all in this together. We all have something to learn from everyone, and I'm really looking forward to more.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Thank you for creating a safe sandbox for us to play in.
I would love everyone to play in the sandbox. So like I said, we have some really cool stuff coming up. 5 elements, just do some more research. I just would say try some more research on the 5 elements. It's fascinating. You'll just look at people and yourself in a different way if you haven't already done that. So massage mentor Diane Mikowski and the lovely Sue Wood. Thank you so much for taking your time. Oh God. See, I won't be able to hug everyone.
So that's why you should come here to do it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. That went very well.
We said hitting great points. We didn't have a lot of viewers for people to look at it, I'm sure.
That's okay.
I didn't do very good with keeping up on my
Your things up there.
and look, we're still live.